Just a brief little vignette before we get into the video here. People have been asking me questions in the comment sections about the films I've seen, and it like contains spoilers, and I haven't been doing it because I didn't want to spoil it, but I've decided I'm going to do that. So I just said I'd put this at the front of this video. I actually say it at the end of the video that I've recorded, but I want to do it here in case anybody just looks straight down at the comment section first, and I've answered already for certain things. So if you don't want to be spoiled at all, don't read the comments, because if people have asked questions, I am going to answer the questions for them in that thing. So take care and get into the video. What's the story, YouTube? This is Heritage, and this is my Men in Black International review. Yeah, this is bad. I'm racking my brain to try and actually say why, because the production values are fantastic. It's probably the best looking of all the Men in Black film. The aliens look good, the designs are interesting. There's some really interesting world building in terms of the transatlantic hypersonic tubeway system that they have. It's got a great cast. I mean, Chris Hemsworth is very charismatic and he's funny. Tess Thompson is really endearing in this. One thing I will say about the marketing on this, they seem to be going in Hollywood for this real streak of misandry where they're always giving out about men and stuff like this. And you've seen it in X-Men, Dark Phoenix, you've seen it in Captain Marvel, there's a bit of it in Avengers, but there's actually none of that in this. There's one or two barbs thrown men's way, but I thought she was really good, and she's a good character arc, and it's her role as M is it's really likeable, and you wouldn't get that from looking at the trailers for this, where she seemed to be some sort of bitchy hard ass. But it's just absolutely undeniable that this thing is boring as hell. That's its main failing. It was dull. It was so dull. I mean, it's the first film in a long time where I just actually wanted to leave. About 2/3 the way through the film, I was saying, Jesus, just pick up, get a little bit more exciting, do something. But it's just, it's just a slog to get through. And I mean, that's the worst, most condemnatory thing I can say about it. I'm not even sure if I want to do a spoiler-free section on this, or a spoiler-full section on this, because it just doesn't engage me at all. I'm only after getting out of it, and I've already forgotten half it. So I can't recommend this at all. I'd say it's a 5. Like, literally the embodiment of 5 out of 10. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just there. And when I mean bad, I mean like just trashy, ineffectual effects, shambolic in how it's put together. So I don't take this as some sort of, even a passing advert to go for it. This thing is strictly DVD fare, Netflix flair, whichever way you get it on the cheap for about £3. It's not worth full whack in the cinema. And in fairness, I'm actually staying over at a friend's house. This only cost me £17. Usually it costs me 25 if I'm in my local cinema. So I'm absolutely delighted to save me about a tenner. But even then, it's not worth that. So 5 out of 10. I think the only people that would really go to see this would be, I'm racking my brain for that even. I'd say parents that want to bring 5 to 10-year-olds. Maybe that would keep them enthralled. Because like I said, the effects are really good. Like some of the villains in this, I think they're called the Dryads or the Drads or something like that. They look like humanoid versions of Hubble telescope pictures. They're kind of like living nebula or something like that, and it really looks spectacular, and it's an absolutely really good effect. But it's just the excitement isn't there, and it's not funny. Like, it's supposed to be a comedy, and I didn't even smile at any of it. I didn't hear anyone in the cinema smile. In fact, the funniest thing in this was that there was a shower of kids in the back acting up because they were bored out of their head, and I let her order them to get them to shut up so I could actually hear what was going on. That was probably the funniest thing, and it's nothing to do with the film. So yeah, I'd say 5 out of 10, not worth your while. Dullest picture I've seen in a long time. Like I said, it's a damn shame because the production values are there, the cast is there. It just doesn't have the script. It doesn't have the momentum. Like, nothing really seems to be important in it. There's no sense of drama, not like in the other ones. I mean, I'd actually say this is even worse than the second one, and the second one is kind of universally reviewed as god-awful. And that's such a shame, because they did put some thought into the world building, into the world of the Men in Black, and into like the special effects. There's still the odd ropey CGI bit in it, but in the main, it's got some very, very good photogenic images and imagery going on. So that's the spoiler-free section over. I can't recommend it at all. All the words you're hearing about it, like the critics, usually, but actually seem to like this, unfortunately, in some of them. But yeah, for once we agree with them, it's not good. It's not worth your while. Wait to come out on DVD if you like it, if you're completist for the Men in Black series. It doesn't really hold a candle to the original three. And that's what I'm saying, that this is one of those films that you're wondering, why was it made? Because I mean, like, the second one we all know was bad, but the third one had a good bit of heart to it. Like the ending of that and what it meant between the characters of J and K, that was really, heartfelt and touching. Like there's really none of that in this. They try and bring some sort of emotional content to it, but it just doesn't work. So there you go, spoiler free content over. I can't recommend it at all. 5 out of 10. Stay at home. Okay, spoiler section now. The story revolves around Tess Thompson's character Molly, who as a kid has an encounter with an alien, and the Men in Black come along and they neuralize her parents, but they don't realize she's in the house, so she never has her memory wiped. And she saves this little alien and he gets out the house. He's a cute little thing, like kind of a Care Bear type job. But because she knows there's more going on in the world than the world knows, she spends the rest of her life trying to track down the Men in Black and trying to get involved in the organisation. And in fairness, this is a part where she tries out for all the government organisations like the CIA and the FBI and all that. So this explains how she's actually quite capable and handy with, weaponry and trained in, unarmed combat, which I thought was actually quite clever, and she really does come off as a very endearing character. Just like I said, the marketing in this thing is bloody awful. She's really likeable. She kind of reminds me of Charlie Watson from the Bumblebee film, not as passive as her, but still, it's the type of girl next door type that, you wouldn't mind hanging around. And she ends up tracking down the Men in Black, into the traditional head office that they have in the sewage works place or whatever, I think, in New York. And this is where she gets a chance to have a conversation with played by Emma Thompson. And she decides to take her on as a probation agent and sends her over to the London office, which is where she meets up with Chris Hemsworth's character. And Chris Hemsworth actually tries to use her as a sex toy, in order to placate an alien that he's trying to ingratiate himself with. So, and she comes on to this and gives out them. But to be honest with you, I'm laughing at that idea now more after the film than I did in the film. And they big up H, which is Chris Hemsworth's character, who was teamed with High T, who is their version of Zed over in the London office. And they saved the world back in the 90s from the Hive, who are the villains in this film. And there's a subplot going on about how Men in Black has been infiltrated and how they're trying to figure out who it is. But that, for the whole length of this film, goes bloody nowhere till the last act. And I was actually starting to think, are they just going to drop this? Are we actually going to find out who this Hive operative is meant to be? And surprise, surprise, it's High T. It's Liam Neeson's character himself, who was defeated by the Hive when they tried to fight him off in Paris back in the day. And he neuralized H, so H doesn't know that he's actually been co-opted. They go on a bit of a world tour over to Marrakesh and over to Paris and back to London and all this sort of stuff, just to try and, to be honest with you, I think inject some form of energy into the film. But it's just, like I said, dull at this stage and nothing seems to be really working. Like the alien that H was trying to pawn M off to gives her this little device that actually turns out to be like the ultimate weapon in the universe or something. And I've no real idea what that was all about. It just sets up the final act where she uses it against the Hive. But he gives it to her because he doesn't trust H, because H isn't acting the way he did back in the day. And I think that's, as we find out, it's mainly due to the fact that he was neuralized. And not that, as they were trying to insinuate, that he's a member of the Hive. But it's just a bit of a mess at this stage because it's all about hopping around the world to get to the last act. And there's a subplot with H's ex called Riza, who's an arms dealer. And that just is really for action more than anything else, and a couple of jokes at Hemsworth's expense. And I don't know, just like I said, I really started to lose interest at this stage. And then it gets towards the last act where, we find out that H.T. is actually a member of the Hive. They're trying to bring the Hive back through the gateway that they did at the beginning of the film, which is the top of the the Eiffel Tower. And this is where we actually have the fight where Tessa Thompson ends up firing the ultimate weapon through the gateway to take out the Hive and High T. Like I said, it's as dull as me, describing it to you. I really can't, get excited about this. There's no real moment where you feel, yeah, this is great. There's no real rousing moment. There's no real impassioned moment or anything. Like I said, they try a bit where Hemsworth and T are supposed to have a father-son type relationship, but you just don't really buy it. And like I said, I just wasn't invested in it all. As soon as the light came on, I was gone. As I said, this is the first film in a long time, I think probably since Jupiter Ascending, that I really just said, Jesus, I just want to get the hell out of here. It's it's such a disappointment, you know, like, and I mean, I feel so sorry for them. So, yeah, there you go. Men in Black International. It's a train wreck, you know, like, I mean, I'm looking back over the last couple of weeks. I mean, people are slagging off Dark Phoenix, no end, but at least it has that train sequence at the end that pumps it up on the action wise. There's nothing like that in this. It's beautiful to look at. I will say that it's got some great conceptual designs. I feel really sorry for those lads who came up with all that, because it's just wasted in this kind of emotionless, dull, you know, inertia led trash, unfortunately. So there you go. 5 out of 10. You know, like, I wouldn't give it worse just because, you know, it was competent in how it portrayed things, but nah, I'd avoid. So there you go. There's my Men in Black International review. If you like and subscribe, share this if you want as well. You know, like, I've got a few lads on. Oh, just to say as well, in terms of spoilers, people have been asking questions in the comments section. I've decided I'm going to answer them. So if you're looking, don't look in the comment section basically, because I'm going to answer them for them, because, you know, the video is what you're supposed to be looking at, you know, like, so don't read the comments. All right, so there you go. Take care, guys. Have a good one.